Good morning. It's Monday, June 6th. And over the weekend, former top White House aide Peter Navarro has been indicted by a grand jury on 2 counts of contempt of Congress. That's according to the court documents. Now, Navarro is an economist, and he's written a couple of books, 3 of them about China. Navarro was picked up at an airport by the FBI, put into handcuffs, and taken down to wherever they hang them out, wherever they hold these people. And then he was charged and then later released. And he was pissed off and complained about the way he was treated. How come he was handcuffed? How come they didn't just give him a telephone call and bring him in? And he would come in, he claimed. But meanwhile, he has ignored the subpoena, just like the rest of those high-level people who have ignored subpoenas that the J6 committee has sent out. So finally, the Department of Justice took action. And here's the strange part about this entire episode. A letter was sent to the House committee, the J6 committee, informing them that the former White House Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows, and the former White House Deputy Chief of Staff, Dan Scavino, will not face prosecution. Yet, our good friend Peter Navarro is facing prosecution. Why? Why is there a differentiation between the actions of Peter Navarro and the actions of Mark Meadows and Dan Scavino? That is a big question that many people are mulling over right now. In fact, the committee chairman, Benny Thompson, and the vice chairperson, Liz Cheney, the Wyoming Republican who's in deep shit with the members of her party because she voted for Trump's impeachment, do not understand why Dan Scavino and Mark Meadows have not been brought to court the same way as Peter Navarro. They agree that the decision to apprehend, let's call it an apprehension of Peter Navarro, was a correct decision. But they find the decision to reward Meadows and Scavino for their continued attack on the rule of law puzzling. And I find it extremely puzzling also. I am wondering if the Department of Justice is playing politics, perhaps. I know that Meadows and Scavino engaged in months-long negotiations with the Select Committee. They were haggling over the terms of a potential testimony and the bounds of executive privilege. Now, we know that these 2 people don't have executive privilege, but they throw that into the mix every time to confuse people. And Meadows also turned over thousands of text messages and communications that he had with members of Congress and other White House advisors pertaining to the J6 episode. So maybe that's the reason that they didn't indict them, so to speak, because they were cooperating up to a point. But they never gave real testimony. And they ignored subpoenas too. So I don't see a real reason why these 2 should not have been arrested. There is no question in my mind that Meadows and Scavino have important information about the president's role in the efforts to overturn the 2020 election and the events that took place on January 6th. And maybe at some point in the future, the Department of Justice will provide greater clarity, a better reason on this matter as to why they were excused while Navarro wasn't. I am sure that Meadows and Scavino are much closer to the situation than Navarro was. So why could Meadows and Scavino get away with this? As I said before, it might be a political issue here that's guiding them, Department of Justice. Because Meadows was a congressman for 7 or 8 years before becoming the White House chief of staff. So maybe, just maybe, this political move, because Meadows might still have some influence on Congress and the Senate, and perhaps by being lenient to Meadows and Scavino, the Justice Department feels that maybe there can be more compromise going on in this country, and then maybe we will get some more facts about the White House insurrection, and maybe we will also be able to get some legislation, highly important legislation, passed if we are showing a leniency toward two major Republican figures. That's just a wild guess on my point, because I cannot understand why Scavino and Meadows are getting off without a conviction when they were equally guilty to the same things that Navarro had done. Yes, they did cooperate for a while and they gave tons of papers and everything like that, but that doesn't make them innocent. They had text messages, they were filing things, they were talking to people, they were encouraging the insurrection. And I don't know whether or not they were proven to have attacked or said anything about Pence's performance or anything like that. They certainly weren't doing that. They were not, I would not call them highly visible contributors to the insurrection, but they certainly were main players in the game. So why were they let off? It's a mystery. It's a mystery that needs to be explained to the Americans, because you can't have two people doing the same crime as a third and you only have one who's indicted. That doesn't seem to me like the DOJ is doing its job there. So I leave you with these crazy thoughts this morning, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.